Hello, YouTube. I'm back. This is Clarissa. Um, I have a few experience, just one little experience I want to just share with you guys. So I have 15 minutes. I want to talk about invisible beings. Um, I have seen probably a couple of invisible beings. I can't explain it. I know people like how they're invisible, how you see them and they're invisible, but you can't explain anything in the astral world. Come on. Okay. Now, one time it was back in 2008. I had my baby. She was about like a couple of months old. And it's probably like early morning hours, probably like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. Everybody was gone in the house. I was the only one there because I had woke up. I was fully awakened. I walked through the house, everybody was gone. The front door was open. I locked it. And, my baby was still, I put her, she was still asleep. So I just went in my room. I was, you know, lay back on the bed. I was looking at TV, and out of nowhere, I felt myself getting sucked into a sleep paralysis, and I knew I was going. I felt myself. I was trying to hold on to the 3D world. I was trying to hold on. I felt myself. It's like a vacuum cleaner, like you being sucked into something, and I felt myself going into it. So then I guess I wasn't strong enough. I guess I couldn't hold on to the 3D world, long enough. I just instantly got sleep paralysis. So next thing you know, I'm in a sleep paralysis mode. I can't move. I still hear my TV. I couldn't open my eyes, but we be trying to open our human eyes, but I was actually trying to open my third eye, and it was so weak. I was hearing it, and I was saying in my head, I was like, oh shoot, damn. Like, okay, how I'm gonna get out of this? How I'm gonna get out of this? I just kept saying that over and over, like, how I'm gonna get out of this? Okay. So I try to open my eyes, and I was peeping out, like it was hard to open, but I could see my room. I seen, my laptop. I heard the TV. I was everything was normal. I promise I was woke. I was aware. And then I'm just peeping out of my eyes. I'm looking around the room. And my bedroom door was open. So I looked right at my door and I seen a little girl. A little girl. She was standing right in front of my door. When I seen her, it was so real because I can tell you every detail of what she had on. That's the only thing I seen. The only thing I seen was her dress. Her arms, her face, her legs were invisible, but her dress was just there, you know. And it was like a frequency type of thing, like I guess our frequency wasn't on the same, level, but it was on a enough level for me to see just her clothing. I guess her clothing and me was on the same vibration, but her skin and everything else didn't kind of come into view all the way. So that's what I mean by invisible beings. That's why I call them invisible because they don't really show their full. It's like their whole full face is gone. The only thing that's on the same frequency is what you see. Everything in my room was in the same frequency. It was there. I knew it was going to be there. I didn't know she was going to be there. She was standing right in front of my door, and she was just standing there. She didn't move. Another. She was just standing there. And once I seen her, I instantly closed my eyes back up, and I started counting in my head. I was like 1, 2, 3, wake up. I kept trying to like jerk myself up. I kept trying to wake up. Like, oh my god, wake up. Oh my god. I was so scared when I saw her. When I finally get up, I looked around the room. You know, went to the door. I called my mom. I called my brother. And I'm like, where y'all at? Y'all need to come to the house. I'm scared. Didn't want to beat it by myself, you know. That's when I was on the tip of the iceberg of become awakened, you know, to this. I've been seeing stuff like this been happening ever since I was younger, but I wasn't aware of this until I had my, you know, awaken call in 2008. So next thing I know, I had another experience when I saw an invisible being. I was in my bedroom sleep. Um, it's like middle of the night type of thing. I don't know what what had happened. It's like it's just like a movie. You know, when a movie come on, it only show you like the end of it, you know, and then it'll pop back into the beginning or whatever. It don't never starts at the beginning. It's always be the middle that they tell you about. It was like that because I don't remember waking up. I don't remember getting up. All I remember was I was sitting up in the bed. My window was to the right of me. My door was to the left of me. My TV was in front of me. And I was sitting in my bed. I was sitting up. Remind you, I was sleeping, but for some reason I woke up in a state where I was afraid. I'm sitting up in the bed, you know, with fear in my heart. And I got my head towards my window, looking at my window. I didn't want to look at my door. So I just kept looking at my window because I was afraid to look at my door, and I didn't even know why I was afraid to look at my door, but I was afraid to look at my door. And I felt this force, like like something pushing my head towards the door. And I kept trying to push away. I didn't want to look. I didn't want to see it. So I kept pushing it away, but they were so strong. They kept pushing me, pushing my face to look at them. So when I finally looked at him, it was this man. He had a black sweater. Once again, all I saw was his sweater. I didn't see his legs, arms, face, nothing. I just knew it was a male. It seemed like it was a male energy. He was tall. He was had a black sweater on, and he was moving kind of slowish, like it was kind of weird. It was like a dream state type thing. And I'm looking at him, and I turn my head again, and he pushed my head to look at him again. He was forcing my face to look at him again. So I'm looking, my heart is beating, my eyes are just bucking out my head. And he just stood there and he took a bow at me. He just bowed twice, all the way down. He bowed. And as he did that, I'm looking at him, and I felt my eyes just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and my heart was just beating faster and faster. And he was just standing there. He was standing there. He didn't come in my room or nothing. He didn't. He just stood there, and I knew he was looking at me, even though he was invisible. I knew he was looking at me, and I'm like so afraid and just trying my best to understand what's going on. And I guess he felt that I was afraid, and that's one thing I can say. It was a good entity or a good being. Not all of them are bad. Not all these beings are bad. I don't care how evil or how bad they look. They're not all evil. That's just how they look, you know, in the actual world. You know, that's how they look. You know, something probably happened to them for them to look that way, and they got to try to awaken to get their real clear visual, you know, appearance back. But I can tell this person was a good person because he knew I was afraid and he let me go. He didn't come back to bother me again. I didn't see it again or nothing. I have had experience where I'm in sleep paralysis mode and somebody's shaking me or trying to get me to wake up. I always feel like my soul be still laying in the bed asleep. Because one time I was laying in the bed asleep and I heard somebody beating on my door and I jumped up in my sleep. I jumped up, I looked back at my door, and it was still knocking. And I knew in real life my door wasn't locked or nothing. I know folks in my house wouldn't knock on my door, they'll just come in, you know. And then my baby, she was a little bit newborn baby at the time. I'm like, who would beat on my door like that early in the morning? But they were beating like they was trying to get in. They were riding on the doorknob. They were just beating on the door, doom, 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 doom. And I'm looking back. I didn't want to get up. I'm too lazy in the astral world now. I'm too lazy to get up at my own body to go see who was at the door. I don't know. I still don't know to this day who it was. I wish I would have got up to see who it was. But only thing I did was look back at it at the door, and I just laid my head back down. And then I woke up for real. Like, was somebody knocking at my door? I jumped up. Ex folks in my house. Was somebody knocking at my door early this morning at 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning? Somebody knocking at my door. They were like, no. I knew it wasn't going, but I just wanted to hear them say it. But I have more experience to tell y'all. It's a lot of more stuff I want to show y'all and tell you. Oh, so many stories. I wish I had other people here that also have great experience they can tell you. I can tell you about some of my experience that a friend of mine told me, uh, experience that we went through, and I have a lot. I'm gonna come back, so y'all just stay tuned. If you like the video, just comment, write anything you like, and tell me what you like about it. And I will see y'all later. Just keep your imaginations open and keep it flowing and keep it big and keep it wide. Because that's where we come from, and the imagination will be going back.